Welcome to the Jboy Show, hosted by Jake Crain, the fastest growing sports show in the nation.
I'm Coach Hugh Freeze.
This is Super Bowl champion Brandon Graham.
Hey, this is DJ Shockley, and you're watching.
And thanks for watching the Jboy Show.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for hopping in again. Got another great show for you today. Going to get to our guest in 1 second. You're going to know about him and his playing career that's still ongoing, and about his mother, who just happened to get a pretty big women's head basketball coaching gig. And we're going to talk about that. But before we do, make sure you head over to betonline.ag, one of our favorite sponsors. They've got an online casino. It's always open, whether you want to bet baseball, if you bet the draft earlier, anything in the world of sports, they're going to be able to send out a sharp, going to be able to gamble against them, whether it's parlays, straight up props, however you get down. Head over to betonline.ag today and tell them that Jboy sent you. But as usual, very excited. I feel like I say that every show, and I think it tells you about the guest list we have, but very excited to bring on a guy to talk some baseball. We're going to talk some basketball as well, and just some happenings right now in the SEC world over a multitude of sports. He's in the Cardinals organization right now doing big things. He's going to be called up sooner than later, and I'm going to get him back on here to talk about it. But that's former LSU shortstop, current Cardinals minor leaguer, like I said, hopefully about to break through, Kramer Robertson. Kramer, what's up, man?
What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, excited to get you here. And it's got to be such a crazy time in your life. You know, you get drafted, you go to the league, you're moving up there, you're doing big things. I mean, you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, and we're going to talk about it later. And then your mom, Kim Mulkey, takes the LSU head women's basketball coaching job. Just how crazy is your life right now, Kramer? Or at least the last, couple days, maybe a week.
Yeah, the last week's been pretty hectic. When my mom called me and told me that they had offered, we talked about it for a while, and we weighed the pros and cons. I obviously am super biased towards LSU, so I think everybody knows what my answer and what my stance on it was. And then once, she told me that she was going to accept the job, but I couldn't say anything yet. It was tough for a few days as the rumors started to swirl. People started hitting me up, calling, texting me all day. And I couldn't give them the answers they wanted to hear. I had to be politically correct. And they all just about got the same answer. But now that they announced it, I'm excited to celebrate with everybody else.
Yeah, and obviously she had an unbelievable career at Louisiana Tech. You have an unbelievable career at LSU. Both of you are doing so well. When she called you and told you on that first phone call that LSU had offered, I mean, it had to be a pretty emotional moment for you, because, I mean, you were really the first one to kind of connect with LSU and now kind of bringing that home.
Yeah, I had such a great relationship with so many people there. The community embraced me. My 4 years there, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I would have gone back for a fifth and sixth year if I could have. And so for now, for her to be part of that community and to run the show for LSU women's basketball is so special. And I'm excited personally just to, have a permanent home in Baton Rouge to go back to and get to spend more time there with those people and support her now from the other side.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's all joking aside, Will Wade, it's got to be tough. You're the second best basketball coach on campus now, which I'm sure Will tell you the same thing. He's a good guy. But Kramer, I want to talk about your mom kind of here a little bit later. I want to talk about you, man, because, you had a really interesting career. You play your first couple of years at second base. You do well. I believe it was in the Cape Cod League during the summer you moved to short, or they decided to move you to short, and then you really took off. Can you talk about, because again, there's some similarities in those positions, but they're very different. Anybody who's ever played both of them, they're very different. Was that a big move for you? Was that something you think that kind of bled into you, kind of making another move and keep accelerating your career, or was that just part of it and it just kind of coalesced at the same time?
Well, I was a shortstop my entire life, growing up all the way through high school. And then when I got to LSU, I had never really played any other position. And then we had a guy, he was an okay player, Alex Bregman. He was playing shortstop when I got
He's
there.
all right at baseball.
He's okay. So they started working me at second base. And I was a young 18-year-old kid. I honestly felt like I was a little behind when I got there. I was a little bit raw. I had talent, but I played 3 sports all the way through high school.
Yep.
I only played baseball when it was baseball season growing up. So, repetition wise, I felt like I was a little bit behind and I had some catching up to do, but, I learned a lot from Alex. I learned a lot from Coach Maneri, and going into junior year, Alex was gone and I had up and down freshman and sophomore year. Not exactly what I wanted to do, or it didn't perform how I wanted to perform. And then going into junior year, there's an opening at shortstop. And so it was open competition. And I actually didn't get the first crack. I started my junior year at second base. And then we were having some struggles a couple of weeks into the season. Coach Maneri was like, all right, this is your opportunity. This is your job to lose now. And the rest was history. You know, once I felt like they really needed me and they needed to lean on me, I took that responsibility and I felt like I did a good job with it.
Yeah, man, you did. I mean, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. And obviously it's led you to this point in your professional career. And I want to get to that. But, you know, you bring up something, Kramer, and I played all sports in high school. And I know it kind of has, you know, the effect of I feel a little bit raw, but there has to be some points playing those other sports, because I encourage kids to play as many sports as they possibly can, that the other sports help you in baseball as well. Maybe not obviously hitting the ball. That's kind of a very, you know, micro cornered part of the game, but just in general, did you take things from every sport that you used once you got to LSU and started specializing in baseball, which is a great time to start specializing in something when you get to college? Absolutely.
When kids ask me, and I have that conversation with parents about playing other sports growing up, I tell them to play as many sports as they can. Football, I wouldn't be the baseball player I am today if I didn't play football, if I didn't play basketball. You know, you learn how to use your body, how to manipulate your body in different ways and create athleticism. So I think it's the more sports you can play, the better. Football and basketball have helped me mentally, physically, in so many ways, in being a better baseball player. So anybody that's listening that's considering just specializing at an early age, I wouldn't encourage that at all. I would encourage you to do it all as long as you can, because you know, it's going to help you. Not only is it going to help you, you're going to miss those other sports. You can only do them so long. So enjoy it, be a kid, play as many sports as you can. It's going to help you in the long run.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. And it keeps you from getting burnt out, which I think we've both seen guys get burnt out that are pretty talented at a young age. But, you know, Kramer, and we were talking about this, what made you choose LSU? Because it wasn't like, you know, you just grew up in the back of Baton Rouge and that's always what was going to happen. You told me about a memory before we came on here. I think the audience would like to hear it.
Yes, when I think I was 14, I was about to go into high school. And I started realizing I wanted to play college baseball. I wanted to try to be a professional baseball player. And that was the same summer that LSU won the national championship. And I remember watching those guys on TV. I remember seeing Mikey Matuk, Sean Ochinko, and Anthony Renato, Jared Mitchell, how they played the game, the enthusiasm, the fans were going crazy in the stands. And I just remember thinking that it was so cool. And I wanted, I at least thought that I might have a chance to play there one day. And so a couple months later, my mom actually took me down to Baton Rouge and took me to Coach Maneri's baseball camp when I was 14, which is crazy because it's all come full circle now that I went there, now that she's there. But I can remember going there and being so nervous and being intimidated by the stadium, seeing Coach Maneri, and just having these dreams at 14 years old that one day I could be out on that field and those fans would be cheering for me. And I could have never imagined it would have amounted to what it was, and the career I had and the experiences that I had there. But it all started with a dream when I was 14, seeing those guys on TV.
So you pretty much made your decision when you were 14.
I wouldn't say I made my decision, because
you knew where you were looking.
I knew where I was looking, and I knew I was very interested. And then as you get older and other schools start calling, you listen to them and you see what's great about those schools as well. But LSU was always in the back of my mind. It was the first dream I really had of college baseball, and going out and making my own name, not just being Kim Mulkey's son in Waco, and going out and proving to the world that I could do it.
Yeah, well, you've done that. I mean, your mom's an unbelievable basketball coach, but I don't know if she can hit a 95-mile-per-hour fastball in the batter's box. Now, you know what? Knowing Kim Mulkey, she probably could, Kramer.
I'm not going to
She probably could. Yeah, I wouldn't bet against her, but I mean, you've obviously made a name. You've obviously made a name for yourself. And I do got to ask you, you know, before we get on to the other side and talk about your mom a little bit and your professional career, what is your favorite LSU baseball memory? Is there one, you know, whether it's a hit, whether it's a play, you know, it doesn't have to be by you. Is there one that kind of stands out? Because I know you had a bunch.
There is. There was one night in particular that stands above them all. It was my senior year Super Regional Game 2 against Mississippi State. My freshman year, we didn't make it to Omaha. My sophomore year, we did. I was injured, came back, and coach chose not to take me to Omaha, which honestly just devastated me. I was heartbroken. I was hurt. We came up just short, got walked off on at home against Coastal Carolina in the Super Regionals my junior year. So it was my last chance to go to Omaha, which was the ultimate dream of that 14-year-old Kramer. And so when we were getting those last few outs, we had a big lead against Mississippi State, and we were out on the field in the bottom of the ninth, and coach sent 3 subs in for me, Greg Dykman, and Cole Freeman to walk off the field, and we got a standing ovation. And it was super emotional, just all of that coming back to me, those dreams I had, getting to go to Omaha, my last chance, and going to the dugout and standing next to Coach Maneri to watch those last 3 outs, and then running out on the field to dogpile. That was probably the most special memory I have as a baseball player. It was just perfect. I couldn't have drawn a movie script any better than that.
Yeah, without a doubt, especially being a senior and all the work, since being a kid, even before you got there. And I'm glad you got that moment, man. I know that was special for you, and something you'll be able to tell your kids, your grandkids about. And I know, everybody in your family was really proud. But speaking about proud, if you're not proud of the way you're fishing right now, you need to head over to monsterbass.com. They've got an unbelievable amount: jigs, lures, bait, tackle, however you get down, wherever you're at. You could be at the top of Northern California or the bottom of Florida. They're going to know what you need, whether it's bass, crappie, anything, mermaids, doesn't matter. They've got jigs for it. You need to head over to monsterbass.com. Use the promo code JBOY10. That's JBOY10. That's monsterbass.com. They will send it straight to your door. Unbelievable stuff. I use them. I'm not a professional fisherman by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm actually doing better, especially when we go hit the pond for the largemouth. But that's monsterbass.com. Use that promo code. Here with Kramer Robertson in the Cardinals organization right now, doing big things. And kind of update everybody, Kramer, because you get to the minors and it's such a grind. I mean, college, grind, minors, super grind. Well, where are you at right now? Because I know you're doing big things, and I know you have some big things coming up, but where's Kramer Robertson right now in the scale of minor leagues moving up?
I'm about as close as you can get, man. Yeah. Right now, I'm actually in St. Louis. I'm staying right across the street from Busch Stadium. I'm on our alternate squad, which is basically just in case any guys get hurt, any guys get COVID, we're here. They can pick from us, and we can be ready to go and get called up. So when the major league team's on the road, we're actually working out at Busch Stadium and playing simulated games and getting our workouts in over there. And then when they're at home, we're at an independent league field across the street. So I'll be here until the minor league season starts on May 4th, and then I'll go to AAA Memphis and hopefully have a good year and give myself a good chance to get called up. I feel mentally and physically prepared now at this point in my career to play at the big league level. I've prepared my whole life for this. I've grinded my way through the minor leagues, and I feel ready. I just need an opportunity.
Yeah, man, I know you can smell it. And it's a lot of guys haven't gotten near as far as you have, and you're almost there and just got to keep doing what you're doing. But I want to ask you, Kramer, because, playing in the SEC is as close as you're going to get to getting ready to play in minor league baseball. It's the best conference in college baseball. It's not even close. But how big of a jump from a pitching standpoint against Kramer when you get in that box? Because again, SEC, and it's not just Friday night. You're seeing guys Friday, Saturday, guys coming out of the pen, even when you got to scramble them on Sunday sometimes, that are throwing, 90s with good off speed, can pitch you backwards. But how big of a difference is there in going to the major league level and hitting as opposed to college? And what would you say is the biggest difference?
I would say there's a few things. I think going from college, and then I went straight into low A, there was a jump there. The first thing that I noticed in pro ball is it's not just the starter on Friday night or Saturday night. You have a good starter, and they bring a guy out of the pen, and his stuff's even better because he's throwing for 1 inning. Then the next guy out of the pen's even better. So there's no breaks. And each level from low A to high A and then to double A was the biggest jump that I saw. Guys are not just having stuff at the double A level. They're commanding it. They're controlling it a lot better. And then obviously when you get to triple A, most of the arms you've seen are have been in the big leagues or are about to be in the big leagues. It's big league level. So I think the first thing was there's no breaks. Those 0 for 5s can turn to 0 for 20 real quick. And then you're also using a wooden bat, so it's a lot less. It's a lot less forgiving. Guys are pounding you in, trying to break that bat and get it on your hands. But it's definitely a step up. But it's all relative. I don't want to say you get used to it. You never get used to seeing 98, but you catch up. You start getting your timing, and you adjust as you need to. But it's definitely difficult. It's the hardest game in the world, and You fail a lot, and you have to be able not only be physically talented, but you have to be mentally tough and be able to grind through those low points and stay as even kill as you can, and just focus on literally one pitch, one at bat at a time, and that's the best recipe that I've had for success.
Yeah, man, that's a great way to encapsulate it. And the two things that stand out to me, Kramer, number one is how anybody hits a slider in between 90 and 93 miles per hour blows me. I'm watching these guys in the major leagues, though, 93 mile per hour sliders. I forgot the guy the other day. It was just absolute witchery. But the thing that stands out to me, that's most impressive to me at the major league level, is some of the takes from some of these hitters. I mean, it's really unbelievable, the pitches that they take. And like you say, I guess you really never get used to it. But was there a moment, Kramer, and you've always believed in yourself, you have to be confident to be able to make it this far. But right when you got even in low A, was there a moment or was there an at bat where, either you fought off some pitches or you fought the counter, you came back from 0-2, got a big knock and said, all right, I belong here. And like I said, not saying you're not confident, but was there kind of an aha moment? I ask NFL guys that all the time.
I think my aha moment wasn't when I first got to pro ball. I felt ready when I got there. I was a 4-year college guy. So when I got to low A, I was like, okay, like I'm ready for this level. Like I can do this. But when I got to big league camp and I saw the best players in the world that I've been watching on TV, and I saw how they went about their business, I'm taking grounders with them, I'm throwing and hitting with them. And I was like, I can do this.
Yeah,
like I belong.
Yeah.
I belong here. I can do this. Like I can compete with these guys. Now it just turns into, how do I be as consistent as these guys? Because you'd be shocked. Like the talent level from AAA and minor league, it's very, very little. I would say there's like 5% of the guys in the big leagues that are just way better than everybody else.
Yeah.
And the other 95 are just a little bit more consistent than the guys in the minor leagues. Just
True.
Figure out how you stay consistent and how you can stay up there. But I knew once I was playing with those guys at that level, I could do it. I just have to figure out how to perform day in and day out.
Yeah, no, and it's really exciting to watch and watch your career progress. And now I'm going to ask you a few more questions about your mom. I'm sure you've gotten a million of them since she took the job. But if you could describe, first off, I thought her press conference was fantastic. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
That's great.
But if you could describe your mom as a coach, because again, you know her as mom, you obviously know her as a coach, but if you could describe her coaching style, because she's a winner. I mean, she just win everywhere, even as a player. I mean, she just won. How do you describe her style of coaching?
She's energetic, she's fiery, she's passionate, and everything that you see, all that emotion that you see is all genuine. She's as real as they come. So when she's fist pumping on the sideline, she's telling the crowd to get up. That's all real. That's all raw emotion. And not only that, she's just intelligent. She's pays so much attention to detail. She's a perfectionist. So she crosses her T's and dots her I's with everything she does. She's always prepared. And she's, when you talk to her, she makes you want to run through a brick wall. She's the best motivator that I've ever been around. She could go into a men's locker room in any sport right now and get the respect of any guy in that locker room. She's just has that kind of personality. Yeah. People are drawn to her.
Yeah. And again, you don't have that type of success, that she's had without having something like that. And Kramer, my last question for you, and you may not be able to answer this, but I think you can. Who do you think gets more nervous? Your mom watching you play, and not nervous like you're not going to do good, but just because you guys are obviously very close. Your mom watching you in it at bat at any point in time? Are you watching your mom's teams play in the NCAA tournament? Who do you think's more nervous?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I only have a few of them every week, and that's one of them. So there you go.
I don't know, because I get pretty damn nervous when I watch her on TV. And she's playing for a national championship. I remember the last one, I was on a bus from one city to the other, with barely any service, trying to watch the national championship. So I can say I get pretty nervous. I don't know if I can speak for her, because she's pretty stone-faced. I don't know if she ever gets nervous watching me, but I'm sure she has to. Mother,
you would think, right?
Watching her son, you would think that she would get a little bit nervous, even if she doesn't show it.
Yeah, no, but I appreciate you answering that, man. It's just such a cool dynamic, such a cool situation. And I know you're proud of her and she's proud of you. But Kramer, man, I really appreciate you coming on, brother. Where can everybody follow you on social media and be able to keep up with your career, man? Because you're close and I'm ready for you to hit it, man. I'm gonna pick you in FanDuel or something. Just get ready.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Kramer Robertson, and I think my Twitter is Kramer R3. So I'm not too active, but I try to give updates here and there and what I'm doing and post occasionally.
Definitely, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. We got to do this again, man. We got to do it again soon. I know you're leaving, like you said, minor league ball starts May 4th, unless something happens, then they're going to snag you up. But yep. I really appreciate you guys joining us as well. Head to the jboyshow.com, get some of that merchandise. Also subscribe, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever. Make sure you're hitting us up. It's been another edition of the Jboy Show with Cardinals organization. And I'm going to put this athlete, Kramer Robertson. Dude can do a lot of things, played short, played second. Excited to see him. It's been another edition, and Jboy's gone.
The Jboy Show is produced by David Cohn, Technical Director Dave Hammock, Creative Director David Culbertson, Audio Engineer Feyzan Shareef, Production Assistants Blaine Crain and Kyle Orr, Executive Producers Jake Crain, Vince Thompson, Steve Chamberlain, and David Cohn. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website, thejboyshow.com, for updates regarding our newest apparel and merch designs. Win the water cooler with the Jboy Show.